This episode of the Neurodivergent Experience is brought to you by RTN Mental Health Solutions. With up to a 5-year waiting list for autism and ADHD assessments via the NHS, and that's even if you get a referral from your GP, getting an assessment in the UK has never been harder. So if you're like me and can't wait anymore, going private may be the best option for you. RTN offers online assessments for kids aged 6 right up to adults, with prices starting at £900. To make it more accessible, RTN can offer payment plans up to 5 months. You can access their remote services from the comfort of your home anywhere in the UK, and RTN offers group and one-to-one counselling, a private route to access ADHD medication following the assessment, and will even fight for you if your GP doesn't accept the results. So if you live in the UK and can't wait to get an assessment, go to www.rtnmentalhealthsolutions.com and use the discount code RTN23, making it even more affordable for all of our listeners to get an autism and ADHD assessment.
Hello and welcome to the Neurodivergent Experience. I'm your host, Jordan James, a neurodivergent specialist and an autistic photographer. And I'm joined by my co-host and very best friend, Simon Scott.
Hello, welcome to episode 44. This week we're talking about things you shouldn't say to autistic or ADHD people. Hello, Mr. Jordan James. Guess who's back into Batman? It's
Batman?
me! Yeah,
Batman?
My Batman special interest is back because I've watched The Penguin and I freaking loved it.
Oh man, yeah, no, that's on my list. Oh, if you liked it, then I definitely won't watch it.
Definitely.
What?
No, honestly, bro. Oh, what a TV show that is. I have been on the YouTube videos. I've been getting my old comics out. I've even been looking at action figures. Who am I? I'm collecting things again. What a world. What a time to be alive.
That's awesome, man. You know what, though? I absolutely love Batman. I love superheroes. Batman's been one of my favourite. Love the new Deadpool, Wolverine.
Yeah,
I watched it again. Good, came out on Disney Plus. Watched it again, and oh my god, I don't want to put spoilers out, but there is a moment towards the end where Wolverine does something, particularly when he's standing next to Deadpool, that makes me just want to cry with happiness. There's just like. There are moments in that movie that just bring back so many good memories of nostalgia and just loving X-Men in general. But yeah, man, that's really cool. Like, well, you just gone crazy Batman stuff.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's like I've reached that point now where I've just gone, screw it, I'm gonna get what I want. I'm gonna get what I like now, and I'm getting a man cave in my new house. So I was like, yes, I need a Batmobile, not just any Batmobile, the new one, because freaking hell, it's cool. And after watching Transformers 1 as well, I had to talk myself down from buying £1,000 transforming self-Megatron robot the other day.
Well, I'm very glad you didn't.
No, I know, but right,
that's a cool movie, though.
Oh, very cool movie, and an even cooler toy. And I was just like, Normally, I have to convince myself to buy things, and for the first time, I was like, don't do that, Si. You don't want that. I do, Jordan. I do. So Karis really doesn't.
I've been very good. I've only bought one T-shirt this week.
Hey.
Which is a Jordan Celtics T-shirt.
Yeah, I was about to say, is it a Celtics T-shirt?
It is. It's a Jordan Celtics T-shirt.
Oh, well.
So yeah, no, that's really good, man. Oh, I love that. You're just being your authentic.
I am. It's
self, man.
It's
that's
crazy.
Really cool.
It is really cool. I'm kind of really loving my autistic self at the moment. I'm feeling very in tune with it. I'm feeling pretty unmasked as well. And not feeling weird. I kind of just feel like I really like myself at the minute, which is a nice, unusual feeling, but we're going with it.
I was going to say, can we just credit the one person that's actually responsible? Because I'm also, I can't remember the last time I was this happy and this happy with myself. As just being myself, and I'm walking around smiling, being nice to people. And it's like, who is this guy? Who's this guy? And I remember who this guy is. This is the guy that's not angry all the time. And it's very rare that I am that guy, but I've been that guy. I can't remember the last time I was actually angry, apart from when I was playing Mario Party and I might have thrown my controller across the room simply because it wasn't working.
That's kind of how it goes.
That's more sort of meltdown controlled. And then I went and picked it up, brushed it off and carried on playing. Like I said, that's more meltdown-y. But I don't have that, I'm just angry. It's like, and let's be honest, this is mostly Ashley.
Yes, I've had one session with Ashley, and I cannot tell you the anxiety that has been almost like shaved off my shoulders because all of my tension's in my neck. Can be hunched up, and I have a lot of problems with like my traps and my shoulders because I've always carried a lot of tension in my neck. Dude, genuinely, I felt like an orangutan this week because my arms are so low down my body. I'm so used to dinosaur hands and being tight and tucked, like safety position, tucked in, out the plane, jump. And I almost like feel like, what's his name? Mr. Tickle. Like my arms are just like all over the place and I'm just so chilled and relaxed. And even Caris was saying to me the other day, she was like, "Are you all right?" I went, "Yeah, I am actually." "Why?" And she went, You just seem really present and really chilled. And there's been a couple of things I've talked to her about this week that have been like anxiety hang-ups for me and insecurities and stuff. And I'm just like, it's cool. It's cool. It's fine. And
we're just going to put this out there. Ashley's magic. She has magic powers to help us. Because I also just had one session with Ashley and I didn't even have hypnotherapy. I just talked to Ashley and we just talked, and it was like she just helped me. And then I just have this whole new way of looking at things. And now I'm just not angry. Like it wasn't like a switch, like, oh, you will not be angry. It happened after, over a couple of weeks and I was calming down and just not being so angry. And then just, I'm not angry. Yeah. I'm just not angry. It's just crazy.
It is crazy. And do you know what? We're going to mess it all up today because we're going to talk about something that will make us angry.
No, I don't even think I will be angry because I'm just out here being like, the people that say these things, they don't know better. They don't. They're not malicious. They're not nasty.
Who are you? What has happened to you, bro? You're so chill.
So this is, do you know what? This episode is for them. This episode is to help them.
Yes.
I mean, at the end of the day, this episode isn't for us because we know these things are nonsense, but not everybody does. Some people are just like, oh, this is just what I was told. I don't really know much about it. So instead of getting annoyed at them, instead of being angry at them, let's feel sorry for them and let's teach them better.
Love that. All right, let's do it.
I know.
Do you want to start with a autistic one or an ADHD one? Because that's how we're going to categorize it today.
Yeah, I'll start with this one. Yeah, this is a lot, and this happens a lot, and this is anger inducing, but we're not going to get angry about it. Don't worry. Everyone's a little autistic.
Oh, yeah.
Don't say that.
Don't do that.
Don't say that to autistic people. What a demoralizing thing to say to somebody who has gone their whole life struggling to fit in, struggling to be part of the crowd, realizing how different they were and masking in order to not be their authentic selves. And then finally, I've got a diagnosis. I'm authentically being myself. And someone's like, well, everybody's a little bit like that. And I'm like, are you joking? Like, I went through all of that just for you to completely diminish all the struggles that I've had. And they're not just struggles because of autism. They're struggles because of people treating autistic people badly and honing in on our weaknesses as only some bullies can do. And it's like, I've been through all of that and you're just like, it's fine. Everyone's like you. And I'm like, well, if everyone's like me, then why the hell do I feel so flipping different?
Absolutely. That is what I was going to say is, first of all, what is a little autistic? I know I'm 5'7", but what? That's, quite literal. I am a little autistic.
It's a child. A child is a little autistic.
Yeah, exactly. It's like everyone's a little autistic. I have a little autism inside of me too. And it's like, what are you supposed to say with that? It's like I felt so odd in my life. I don't feel odd now. I actually feel quite cool. But, I feel very authentic to myself. I like what I like, and, I can be a goofball and can be serious in all these different aspects of my life. And I find at the moment, I'm educating people and stuff because I'm being authentic. I think that's the best way to do it. And I look at this sort of, don't worry, everyone's a little autistic. I cringe. I just really cringe because it instantly tells me that person doesn't actually know what being autistic or autism is at all. Because if you were a little bit autistic, you would, one, understand where I'm coming from, and two, we'd be able to have a decent conversation without me getting wound up. Because what a dumb thing to say.
I think with this particular thing, if this is something that you're going around saying, and this is because this is how you feel, that you see somebody who's autistic and you actually associate a lot of your behaviors with them, which is why you're like, oh, so everyone is autistic. Because I'm not autistic, but I do those things. Maybe you are. Maybe you are autistic. Because
that's such a good point.
That if you are doing the things that autistic people are doing, then you are more likely going to be autistic, because that is why it is a diagnosis. That is why it is a different brain. That is why it is what it is. That's why autism exists as a concept, is because of difference. So if you are that difference, then you are probably autistic. So maybe think about that before you say it and diminish someone else's lifetime of confusion and miscommunication problems. How about you do that? So, teaching moment. Okay, so next one, things you shouldn't say to ADHD people. Scotty.
Oh, everyone has trouble paying attention sometimes. Don't get me wrong. This look like this. I can see where somebody's coming from. Like everyone does. We all have trouble paying attention sometimes, right? The world is a distracting place, but that's just a part of the human experience. But it doesn't negate the serious impact that ADHD can have on somebody's focus. Like it's not a case of going, oh, I forgot to text that person back or send them an email. Oh, ADHD. Like, no, it's a little bit more challenging than that. And like oversimplifying an issue of focus does nothing but make somebody with ADHD feel terrible. Like I struggle with focus, and a lot of the time it's not a case of, oh, I'm away with the fairies, I'm thinking about something else. It's no, I'm thinking about everything so quickly in so much high detail that things, if it doesn't interest me, get lost. And unfortunately, bills and checking my electric meter and things like that don't interest me, but are very, very important. So when someone like goes, oh, everyone has trouble paying attention, is again similar to, oh, everyone's just a little bit autistic. Yeah, we all get distracted, but, we don't get distracted to the point of I've not done the really important thing that I was meant to do for 6 months.
One, it is, again, it's diminishing the experiences that we have, but also it's being completely inaccurate when it comes to ADHD, because ADHD isn't really about paying attention. That is one thing that we struggle with. And yeah, a lot of people struggle with paying attention, especially when they're not interested in something. But there's like scientifically, there is a different reason. Medically, there is a different reason why we struggle to pay attention and why someone else does. So the thing is that, if you're bored in a meeting because somebody's rambling on and they've got a monotone voice and blah, 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 yeah, a lot of people are going to not pay attention. But are they going to get in the car and then just immediately forget where they were supposed to go? Like, are they going to set an alarm, and then when that alarm goes off 5 minutes later, they don't remember what the alarm was for?
Oh, this morning, dude, I took all my vitamins in order. I got 2/3 of the way through out of the 6 I take, and I went, I can't remember which ones I've taken.
Yes.
And I was looking at them and going, have I done that one? Have I not done that one? And then suddenly I'm going, I can't remember anything I've got to do today now because I'm so focused on whether I did this or not. It's like as soon as I forget one thing, everything unravels and I'm like, what day is it? Crap. Oh, crap. And then everything just goes crazy.
Do you know what that's like? Okay, so you have a hose, a garden hose, and it's got a leak in it. So you go and you cover that leak, and all of a sudden it springs a new leak. So then you go and spring that new leak, but as soon as you try to spring that, try to stop that other leak, it then the other leak goes off, and then you cover both those leaks, and then a new leak comes out, and then it's just springing leaks left, right, and center. And every time you try and fix one, or every time you manage to fix one, another one pops up. That's ADHD. It's just a constant battle of like, did I do that? Did I do that? I've got to remember that.
I feel like Will Smith just walks up to me and flashes me in the face with that pen, and I'm like, what the crap was I doing, man? Like the amount of times that because I live in an apartment complex currently, the amount of times I will go downstairs to go into town to walk out, and I'll go, don't forget to get your sunglasses out of the car. And in the space of me getting in the lift and getting to the ground floor, I may have changed the song I'm listening to on my phone or something. And I will just completely forget to maybe do 5 out of the 6 things I need to do that day because of just that moment of just changing my attention. Like I'll go, oh, I don't want to listen to that. I'll listen to this. And then suddenly I'm a mile down the street picking the music I'm meant to pick. I've not gone to the pharmacy. I've not got my sunglasses out of my car, and I've forgotten the 2 letters I was meant to post on the desk. But I'm just like, why did I even come out? I just end up just being in a like a really confused state of going, I actually don't know how I got here.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's not just paying attention, but when it comes to paying attention, we could be actually genuinely interested in something. Like, really, I want to watch this. And somehow, and we won't often realize, and I've seen me do this, I've seen my family members do this, we don't even realize that somehow we've been distracted by something, either on our phone or we're playing with our fingers, or we're just, a lot of it is phones, which is why I don't actually have my phone anywhere near me when I'm watching telly anymore. I leave it upstairs. Like, I can't stand my phone. If I'm watching basketball, if I'm watching a TV show or anything like that, my phone, it's like the cinema. Like, no one, if you are, you're a git. No one's on their phone during a film in the cinema. And that's what I want in my house. So I don't have my phone as that distraction, but I know that if my phone was near me, it would be. And I don't even realize it. So it is demoralizing again, and diminishing the struggles that we have as genuinely people who struggle with ADHD. Like I said, it's disability and ability, and that is definitely a massively disabling part of being ADHD. Do not say this to autistic people. Don't say this to autistic people. Like, I cannot be more clear of this. Stop saying this. You must be very high functioning to someone like us. Or is he low functioning to a kid that doesn't talk? Something just like that.
That just went through me.
Stop.
That actually genuinely made me really upset. What a horrible thing to say to somebody.
Yeah.
Stop crikey.
Assuming anything. Stop assuming. Just because of the way somebody looks or the way someone talks or someone behaves. Stop assuming anything. And also, I cannot stress this enough, functioning labels are humiliating, demoralizing, and in my experience, not my opinion, my experience of talking to, let me be clear, interacting with thousands of autistic people, these are harmful. These labels are harmful. Because if you get stuck with low functioning, you are basically putting a lid on someone's potential because no one wants to take that kid seriously. No one ever thinks they can do anything. And if you label someone as high functioning, you are basically, you're not helping them, because that means that everyone's like, oh, well, they don't need help because they're high functioning, so they don't need help. Well, I interacted with one young guy. I think he was like in his early 20s, and he was saying that he was called high functioning. Well, he lives in a group home. He doesn't know how to do money, like just do money in general. Like he doesn't. He has to be taught how to go into a shop. He doesn't know how money works. He doesn't know how money works. He needs care. Because if you just put that kid in the outside world and say, good luck with you,
get eaten alive, bless him.
Yeah. So how is that high functioning? But he's very eloquent. He's articulate. He's very smart. There's loads of things that he can do, but he's just not really very good with money. He's not very, he wouldn't be very good in like a normal job setting. But it doesn't mean he never will be. It just means that even in his 20s, he's not. So you're going, oh, that's high functioning. So if I'm high functioning, how is he high functioning? And this is the problem.
That's what I've been thinking as you've been saying it. I'm like, crikey, if he's considered high functioning, then what would, but I don't feel high functioning.
No, oh God,
I don't. I really don't. But yet somebody would say to me, you're like, oh, you're 30, you're getting a house with a mortgage, you hold down a job and a side hustle and you do this and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, but I am mentally and physically exhausted. Living is hard. Yeah. Life is hard.
Everything really is hard. An uphill battle.
Oh, I'm exhausted at all times.
My nephew said to me yesterday, he said, how do people just do it? Some people are just good at life. They're just good at life.
Yeah.
And I went, that's called a neurotypical, mate.
Being at the front of the queue for everything is how I kind of describe it.
What is crazy is that he's saying this to me, and obviously I'm as successful as you can possibly be as like an average human. I've wife, kids, mortgage, great.
Yeah, we tick a lot of boxes of what people would say is quote unquote successful people.
Yeah, I would say that I am a very successful human, but I'm not good at life. Like life is not easy. I'm not good at this. I struggle with this. So where do you put, am I low? I just want to get rid of all functioning labels. I just think they're ridiculous.
Yeah, because then if somebody was say to me, oh, you must be very high functioning, that just kind of says to me, oh, you must be very normal. Like, that's kind of how it feels like if somebody says to me, oh, you're high functioning, it means like, oh, you're not one of them. You're one I can get on with. You're one that can do the job. And that just makes me just feel a bit icky.
Do you know what someone said to me once? I won the golden ticket of autism. And I went, oh, really? Do you want to go and tell my 7-year-old self that when I was so scared of other people because of how I was being treated, so scared of the outside world, so confused by everything around me, that I would literally hide under my covers with my cuddly toys, shaking like a leaf, just saying over and over again, everybody hates me, nobody loves me. Everybody hates me, nobody loves me. Everybody hates me, nobody loves me. For hours, I would just lay there, just saying those words over and over again.
Doesn't feel like a golden ticket, does it?
A golden bloody ticket. Hooray for me. Ridiculous. Another thing you shouldn't say to an autistic person. So yeah, let's ADHD. Things you should not say to ADHD people.
I had this said to me once at work. You don't have ADHD. You can sit still.
I mean, obviously that's true. What? So dumb.
Yeah, that I felt really embarrassed for that person now. And like at the time, I felt embarrassed because I was like, oh, maybe I don't have ADHD. Like this was during my sort of discovery process. And I've already discussed how many years it took me to actually believe myself over other people. Crikey. Somebody at work once said to me, yeah, I don't think you've got ADHD because you can sit still. And that obviously comes from little boys, naughty little boys that can't sit still in class. And that's never been me. My brain is like a goddamn V12 diesel engine. It's chug, 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 chug constantly. Like, I've always struggled to get to sleep. It's not my physical body that can't sit still. It's my train of thought. It's my eidetic memory. It's all of these sorts of things. And I, used to think that ADHD meant you couldn't sit still. And then I had to educate myself, which is hopefully what this podcast will do today for anybody that's listening and still says these things. But what do you think? Because I can sit still, but I've got ADHD.
Yeah, I mean, sitting still, it's like, that's such an open-ended statement. Like, do you mean that I can sit in one place and not get up and start spinning around the room? Do you mean I sit still without fiddling with my hands or squishing a squishmallow toy or clicking my neck or essentially stimming?
Which I do a lot. I click my neck all the time, and I touch my face, and I can be a bit...
Yeah, I've got the beard thing. It's just every time I think of that, I now just think of Jason Tatum.
And I'm doing this all the time, like just rubbing I rub my little goatee strip that I've got. Just constantly
I pick my face. I don't do it as much as I used to, but I remember when I first started doing videos for Facebook and for YouTube, I would watch them and I'd be like, damn, what is with my face? I can't stop picking my face.
Like, I always remember Wayne Rooney used to be like that. He used to be a really big personality on the pitch, and as soon as he got in front of a microphone, just constantly like touching his face and putting his hand over his mouth. And so I vividly remember seeing that. And I'm like that. It's like I have a nose piercing and I have a nose ring, and the amount of times, dude, I will just sit and spin it and spin it and spin it and spin it and spin it. I don't do it as much as I used to, but crikey, the amount of times I've sat in radio studios and people would be like, why are you picking your nose? I'm not picking my nose. And they're like, well, you are. Your finger's in your nose. So technically, it's a thumb, and I'm twisting it. But that's by the by. So they're the sort of things that I have been told with sitting still. It's like, describe sitting still, because like my mouth is constantly moving, like biting my lip and chewing the inside of my mouth. And I don't sit still. I'm constantly moving. I mean, talking into this microphone and sitting still is hard enough. I mean, I've had counselling on the phone this morning. I didn't sit still the whole time, paced around the house with my headphones on.
Yeah, I do that. I do that if I'm on the phone.
I can't be on the phone and sit still. I have to be walking or go for a move, or if I'm driving, like driving and being on the phone is the best place for me to speak on the phone, because I'm actually doing something and it almost helps me focus on the conversation, which is weird. It's like, yeah.
I'll play video games while I'm on the phone. Like, you know, if you've got like an important phone call, you've got like a ring of business or something, you need your money back, or you do a doctor's appointment or so on and so forth. Yeah. And you know you're going to get like elevator music for at least 10 minutes. I will put that on, but then I will play a video game while I'm doing that. And then as soon as that person comes on to the phone, I'm able to talk to them. I will carry on playing the video game, because it's weird, because I can do two things at once. I can concentrate on two things at once if there's two things that I want to do. But if I'm doing one thing and you try and distract me with another thing, that's just going to annoy me and get in my way. And you know, that's not going to work. But as far as sitting still, I mean, at the end of the day, there are different types of ADHD. There is hyperactive ADHD, and then there is inattentive ADHD. And this actually brings up a really good point. I don't agree with the acronym of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I do think that needs a rebranding, as it were. I do think we need to change that. I don't think it's going to happen.
No,
but for me, I actually prefer just calling myself hyper. Like, I'm just hyper, because that actually is, I am a very hyperactive ADHDer. My wife, Sylvia, is not. My daughter absolutely is. My son is not. And that is it. It's like 50-50 in this house. But we're all ADHD, we're all autistic, and we're all completely and utterly different. So, yeah. So, yeah, don't say that.
Don't do that. That'd be nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Stop that. Stop that.
that.
Stop
Silly.
that right now. That's
Silly.
very, very silly.
Yeah.
Silly boy.
Stop it.
Silly girl. Silly person.
Stop it.
Stop it. Yeah, anyway.
All right, then.
Autism. Okay, autism. Do not say, but doesn't everyone feel like that in relation to hypersensitivity? So if I say, for example, wow, that smell is, I can't cope with that smell. So I'll give you an example, is especially during COVID at my work, people would use that spray, antibacterial spray, and they would spray down surfaces like they might as well have used a hose. Like it was so over the top, but there was a couple of people who were just absolutely terrified of COVID. And I'm not dismissing them being terrified of COVID at all. I completely understand why they would be terrified of COVID. They weren't particularly healthy. They didn't eat particularly well. They didn't exercise particularly well. They were in the key demographic of like being like dangerous. It was going to harm them. But essentially, they were very scared. I think everyone was quite scared.
I was terrified.
But the smell of the antibacterial spray they used was the most horrific, overbearing smell. It literally felt like they sprayed it up my nose, that not on a surface, that they'd come over and they'd sprayed it up my nose. So my nose actually stung. So it wasn't just, oh, that smell is really awful. It actually physically hurt my nose and made me feel sick. And I had to go to a different room. So I spent a lot of COVID, which is quite good anyway. I spent a lot of time in COVID at work, completely separate from anyone. I actually became quite down because I quite like the people that I work with and I like interacting with them.
I had that too.
So if somebody had said to me at the time, oh yeah, everybody doesn't like that smell, and diminishing how much it affected me, that's not cool. But they weren't like that. They were actually super understanding because they understand hypersensitivity, because I gave them like a 10-hour lecture over about 5 different weeks.
Yeah,
as only
cool.
I can.
That'll do it.
So have you had that?
I'm like that with Febreze, dude. I like Karis will used to occasionally use Febreze, and I'd come in and just be like, ugh! And she'd be like, what's wrong? I went, oh, it's just that horrible chemically smell. And she'd be like, yeah, but most smells are chemical smells. I went, yeah, but this one makes me want to gouge my eyes out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
And I had it at work the other day. Dogs barking in a room that's 90% glass.
Oh.
I had a yappy dog the other day. I was already tired. I'd had a bit of a stressy day, and yap, 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 yap. And genuinely, there is a voice in my head that goes, blood for the blood god. Let's make some bodies. And I have no control over that feeling. I have no control over that fight or flight. I'm either going to take everybody with me or I'm going to run out of this room right now. I have no control over that feeling. And I genuinely feel like my skeleton is trying to get out of my body. It's a horrible feeling. And yet people go, oh yeah, but it's just a dog. And I'm like, well, it's not just a dog. It's all of these extenuating circumstances of how I'm feeling sensitive and overwhelmed right now. And this is just the straw that broke the camel's back. I have extremely sensitive hearing. It's, very helpful for my job and for sound design and the things that I do. But crikey, walking past somebody with a concrete crunching digger or a really sharp metallic sound just feels like, it doesn't feel like claws down a chalkboard. It feels like claws down my back. It is a very physical, I'm even thinking about this like dog now. And do you know what's funny, dude? I love animals. I love animals and I love being around animals. But if I don't want to be around a sound and I can't get away from it like a panting dog or tippy-tappy nails or things like that, if I can't put my headphones on or put something in my ear to, chill me out, I am in pain. It's discomfort. And I want to put my hands over my ears and literally go in a corner and just be like, turn it off. Just turn it off. And like even during COVID, I used to have a lot of difficulties with my flatmate because I could hear the fridge and they couldn't. And I'm like, can you not hear that buzzing? They're like, no, just get over it. You get over it. Like, it's hurting me. Like, it's the only thing I can think about. I've just got this noise just running through my head. Can anybody just help me with this? And they were just like, just deal with it. It's not that big of a deal. Get over it. It's like, everyone feels like that with noises. Just get over it. It's like, no, they don't.
Another case of just diminishing our experiences as people, and it's just demoralizing, man. And it make. Do you know what? I doesn't work with me because I'm like, do you know what? I don't even care what you think. I don't even care what you say. I know how I feel. I know how I'm experiencing the world. And if I know that if you were experiencing it like I was, you wouldn't be a dick about it. You'd be like, dude, totally know what you're talking about. I can't even breathe right now. I'm really struggling because it's just so overwhelming. Or that noise is just so, like, it could be like the smallest of noises really, really far away, but it just invades your entire thought process.
It's the only thing I can hear.
It's the only thing you can hear. So I'll be, it's like in the cinema and I'm trying to watch a movie and just someone is just making, and I don't mean every now and again someone laughs or someone rattles some crisps or whatever. That I don't care about that. It's just if someone is doing something particular over and over and over and over and over again, and then I'm just like, I can't concentrate on this movie because I'm just thinking of, why are you doing that thing? What is going on? And it's not just like the sensitivity, it's also the sense of justice, or that sense of just like, this is, you are not allowed to do that in a cinema. You're not allowed to do that in a workplace, or you're not allowed to do that. Just stop it. And then I can't think of anything else. So being that, this is the difference. People are sensitive. People are sensitive to noises, sounds, smells,
textures,
whatever, everything. Right? People are sensitive to different things. We are hypersensitive. We are extreme. It's an extreme. So if you touch a sponge and go, oh, I don't like that, times that by 10.
Remove the hand. Just cut it off.
Times it by 10. Yeah. And you are touching the surface of how some of us experience things. Just remember that, yes, everybody has problems with lots of different things, but they don't have the same levels of problems. That is why autism is a thing. If it wasn't, if everybody felt exactly the same and it wasn't difficult, autism wouldn't be autism. It would be neurotypical, which it's not.
It so isn't.
So just stop making us feel bad about experiencing difficulties. Don't be an ableist dick.
You know what?
No, just don't be an ableist dick.
Insert word of your choice there.
My choice was Dick, because it's fine to say that, because there was literally a basketball player called Brady Dick, and he has a basketball jersey with the number 1. So he's number 1 Dick in my world. That's why I have to say about that.
Okay, things that you shouldn't say to ADHD people. Well, other people can do that. Why can't you?
See, I would say that about a lot of things I can do. I go, well, I can learn how to take professional level photos in 2 weeks. Why can't you?
Right? Yeah, or,
I can
go, oh, yes, I can turn 2 people talking on the other side of the country to each other into a hugely successful, listened to around the world podcast. Why can't you do that?
Yeah, why can't you do that?
Yeah, it seems silly, doesn't it? It makes me just think, why doesn't everyone feel like that? Well, other people could do that. Why can't you? People don't like to think that other people get things more than they do, or we're not special. We're not asking for special treatment or to be treated better than everybody else. We are asking for help. We are asking for support. It's, that's the bit that, especially when we talk to like Mandy as well about, some parents are like, well, that kid's getting that. Why are they getting special treatment? It's help. They're getting help. And Like when, when other people can do that, why can't you? It's like, yeah, I couldn't tie my shoelaces until I was 10, but I had a university level reading ability at 9, 10 years old. So it swings and roundabouts. Not everybody can do everything. Otherwise, the world would be really boring. We'd all do the same thing and think the same and just be ploppums.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of these questions are just comparisons and even to the point of, that sort of the trope of, you don't look autistic, or, why can't you look me in the eyes? It's all this comparison to, other humans, a comparison to other people's expectations, your own expectations, your limited knowledge of the subject in which you think that you know about, because your cousin's neighbor's friend, has a kid that's autistic, and somehow you're now an expert and you can go around telling people that they can't be autistic because they're not like Jeremy, from down the road. And and it's just like, just have a bit of common sense, I guess, when you're talking to people who are autistic or ADHD. Even if your intentions are good, it doesn't mean what you're doing is good. And my advice also is, if you do say something like this, or you do say something similar that isn't in our list, and somebody, takes offense to it, don't make them feel bad for taking offense to it. Don't make it worse. Don't be, just apologize and go, you know what? I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Because at the end of the day, if you don't mean to hurt someone's feelings, but you do, you've still hurt their feelings.
Yeah, it's like somebody said to me, like, "Oh, don't be so sensitive." I'm like, "I'm trying."
Yeah, I like that. It's like, when people say, "Just calm down," I don't need you to tell me to do
so simple,
that.
sir. Oh, 'twas that it were so simple.
That'd be like me dropping you off a cliff and going, "Oh, please don't plummet to your death." Oh, wait a minute, gravity.
What do you mean
has
you can't fly?
Well, yeah, what do you mean you can't just turn back time? It's just like, shut up, shut up. But in a happy, nice way. Shut up, please, I guess.
Please, and thank you.
Please shut up.
That would be nice.
How about, instead of just saying what you think, maybe ask them. And then they'll be able to tell you their experience, and you might actually learn something and grow as a human, rather than standing there making another human feel crappy about themselves. So that's
mighty
my
fine advice. Yeah, mighty fine advice.
In addition to this, I actually put a post out on social media, and weirdly enough, people actually interacted with it, which is I know.
The algorithm, may the algorithm bless you today, brother.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah, we had a few people, and I asked the question, what do people think is a bad thing to say to autistic or ADHD people? And we got 180 plus of them. So yeah, there's quite
just a couple of hours as well.
Yeah, in just a few hours. Yeah, so there's quite a few things out there that people are a little bit miffed about. But yeah, we're going to go over a couple of them. So Scotty.
Yeah, sure. So Jackie Lewis in your comments said, "Look at me when I'm talking to you. Can you believe the doctor who carried out the ADOS assessment said this to my son?"
Oh, that's disgusting.
Crazy.
That's disgusting, but unsurprising.
Mm-hmm.
Not even remotely shocking at this point of speaking to many of these people.
Yeah,
doctors that could be just as harmful as like the average person on the street that doesn't know jack about autism or ADHD, has like maybe watched one TV show and then has a load of assumptions, which again, that is just how the world is. But this is a doctor. Like you're doing an assessment. You should know better.
Look at me when I'm talking to you, boy. Christ.
Yeah. No, okay. that guy, girl, person should just be sacked.
Yes, wherever you are listening to this, let's all just boo together. Boo.
Yeah, boo.
Okay. Emma Stain says, "Is that really necessary? Or that doesn't seem age appropriate in relation to adaptations or things that are used for comfort and self-regulation?"
Yeah, here's me sitting with my giant Squishmallow. Oh my God. Squishmallow stag.
Yeah, I mean, I've got my little fidget cube that I've had in my hand the entire time we've been recording.
Hell yeah.
So, because it makes me feel good. So, screw you. I'm using it. Yeah, don't do that. That's not very nice. Okay, so, yeah, I've been on the end of this one. So, Jill Smith wrote in and said, you have a label for her now. So, yes, we now have a greater understanding of our daughter's needs rather than the labels that her family have attached to her, such as difficult or a drama queen. My God, the amount of times I got called a drama queen as a kid.
Yeah, I'm actually guilty of that. I will say that we used to call Sophie a drama queen, and it was always meant in jest. It was never meant maliciously. It was meant in jest because she actually also really liked to do acting.
Yeah,
so it was kind of just like a little joke. Oh, she's a little drama queen.
I get it, but it didn't make me feel good.
Yeah, it doesn't make me feel good that I did it and that I said it. And Sophie, when she was older, she said, that actually made me feel bad, which also made me feel bad. So don't do that. I mean, don't do any of that. Like at the end of the day, it is a label. I mean, you can call it a label if you like, whatever makes you feel happy. But it's an explanation. It's a freedom. It's liberty. That's what it is. It's, I am different. It's not just me. I'm not a terrible person. There are reasons. It isn't an excuse. I'm not crazy. Reason. Yeah, I'm not
used
crazy.
To be mine. I'm not crazy. Because I genuinely, for a very long time, thought I was crazy. Yeah. And we'll end on a fun one because I don't think this one needs a nearly a 45-minute podcast to figure out. But anyway, we'll throw it in at the end. Richard Banton sends in a funky one. My colleague's son's best friend's uncle dog's groomer is also autistic, so I know all about it.
Yeah, that's what we were saying.
Yes,
you do. Richard Banton is Pickle.
Oh, Pickle!
Yeah, Pickle.
That's so nice.
Pickle's commenting.
Yay! So
Pickle.
what we'll start doing, guys, is I like these questions. So maybe we'll try and figure out a way in the future that we can maybe answer more of your questions or your statements. We'll discuss that later. But that's it for me. I'm all tuckered out. My spoons have run out of all this stuff. Hell,
all out of spoons.
And if you're all out of spoons as well, why don't you check out our link below and get yourself a t-shirt that says that you are fresh out of spoons? Why not? Okay, mate. Or a hoodie.
Or hoodie.
An oodie hoodie.
Yeah, an oodie hoodie.
Okay, guys, so we're now getting towards the end of the show, so you know what that means. It's time for Jordan's quote of the week.
Complaining in restaurants isn't a hobby. It's a life choice.
Yeah, as somebody who currently has a job in hospitality, no comment, Your Honour.
Dude, I used to work in a restaurant, and at the end of the day, do your job better. No. Do you know the thing that I complain about more than anything is when they tag on a service charge, and I'm like, don't do that.
Oh,
if I want to leave a tip, I'll leave a tip.
I always love it when the person who brings over the thing and asks for a tip hasn't served you all night. Like, there'll be one other person that you've had who will be brilliant, and then somebody will rock up for 2 seconds at the end and be like, you'll leave tip? Like, no! Bugger off! I don't know you, go away. And that's just sort of how I feel about it. So, yes, that.
Indeed.
Thank you very much. And if you've liked this, please go and give it a like and a subscribe or a follow if you're on Spotify. And why not, while you're there, rate and review the show as well. You know what? All 5 stars, mate. 5 stars across the board. The best grade. It's the best grade I've ever had.
Yeah, because we're the best.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed this episode, we've got new ones every single Thursday, so please continue to keep checking us out. And if you've liked this one, why not go back and listen to some other ones if you already haven't? And if you've listened to every single one, you're an absolute legend, and we love you.
And you're definitely autistic.
Welcome. Yeah, thank you for making us your special interest. We genuinely love it and really
I
appreciate
love that.
it. It's
love
awesome.
that.
Absolutely awesome. So if you're one of the wonderful people who've listened to us in 51 countries around the world, we love you. And please come back again. So that's it from me. I think that's it from you, dude. We're all out of spoons. Until next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.